What's up, guys? GK here with Corbin's Archery. All right, we've been getting a lot of questions about, what is the best sight for 2025. I've been seeing some other videos of people putting in their opinions and stuff like that, and we just thought we'd share ours with you guys as far as what we're seeing in both of our shops as far as the best sight for 2025. There's a lot of new sights that came in late last year, first part of this year, that they've really made some good changes. But we're also seeing price point go up. It is not uncommon to see a $500 to $700 sight nowadays. That's just kind of the reality of it for these high-end, super adjustable, kind of customizable sights. So we just kind of want to break down a few of what we think is the best ones for 2025 as far as new sights go, and then kind of compare and contrast and go from there. First, out of the box here is going to be the new Mathews UV slider with the bridge lock, only capable for the bridge lock Mathews bows here. A lot better than the original UV slider in my opinion. What they changed so far is the scope. The scope is not as tunneled as the normal UV slider is. It's kind of a more trimmed down scope, which allows more light in these pins, and these pins are far better and more brighter than the normal UV slider. With that being said, you still have the UV slider type wheel here, very, very clean and smooth with your toolless micro adjust. I can adjust that windage, do all this. What I love about it as well is the zero stop. I don't know if we can get that, but there is a zero stop on this sight that allows you to quickly rover back up to your home or your zero position and get right back to where you need to be. Also, what I love about this sight is you can swap cartridges. I can take the light out of here, which is not even a battery anymore. It is a chargeable light that you can charge with the cord that comes with the sight. I can take that out if I'm hunting a state that doesn't allow it, put the cover on that allows no light, no fixated light to be shown on the pins. I can then swap the cartridges. Now they make cartridges only to where I can swap this in and out. So if I'm spot and stalking and I have my fixed 5-pin there, all of a sudden I'm going to tack or I don't like that sight picture anymore, I can switch it to a 3-pin vertical, a single pin vertical, 3-pin horizontal, whatever I want to do. I can just swap those cartridges in and out and make it super easy. Also, what I like about this scope in this sight combination, easy first, second, third axis adjustments. Very, very clean, very, very easy to do, super, super lightweight. You can adjust how easy or how hard it is to rover this. You can also adjust how tight that locks down on there. I can get it to that tension that I like. Also, there's room for 2 sight tapes. So that could be a big deal if you're a guy that runs multiple setups or changes the arrows or whatever. You can have 2 different sight tapes on both sides, middle pin on one side, bottom pin, however you want to do it. There's multiple sight tape configurations on this scope. So a lot of light options. I can turn that light on. You can get my pins lit up. I can change the dimming, I can dim it, I can change the brightness of it as well as that goes, but a super lightweight, easy to maneuver sight. Also, I can take the scope off if I'm traveling. This stays on the bow, obviously. This can go on my pack, so none of this is getting beat around, all that stuff. So, super clean. Drawbacks, it is a $700 sight. The price is up there, but you're getting a lot of features with this sight. The one thing I wish they would integrate is somehow making these pins micro adjustable in here. That would obviously drive the price up, right? But being able to easily micro adjust these pins versus just sliding them course adjustment up and down, I think would be a good addition. But that's me being very nitpicky on this sight. This is a really good high-end sight. Obviously, you're paying for a great, well-built sight that is, $700. You do have the option to switch cartridges and things like that. But as far as durability that we've tested so far since these have been out, these have been very durable, very easy to sight in, very easy to work on. They stay firm as far as the axis is. We don't have a lot of loose parts going up and down. I have noticed that we have to set the tension a little bit tighter because sometimes this wheel will just kind of fall down on its own, but that's easy. I can tighten that up and get it to the customer's preferred tightness and stuff like that. The main thing is the toolless adjustment and the zero stop. I like a quick zero stop, so that is a good addition on the Mathews Bridge Lock UV slider that you can run different looks and cartridges on. Next up, we have the Dialed Proof. This is a sight that they've made a lot of great adjustments and they made a lot of changes. Their first sight, the Arxos, I'll be honest, I would not have recommended that sight to anyone. I think it was a good first try, let me put it that way, but it was already a high-end sight. Over $500 for a sight that still had some issues as far as axis adjustment, configuration of the pins, and things like that. So with this proof, they made like a 180-degree difference as far as adjustments and improvements go. This is a well-built sight. Starting at around $560, can go over $600 depending on your pin configuration. You can get it in different color finishes, different wheel colors. You can fully customize this bow and make it however you want to run it. You can also swap out the cartridges. So if you're tired of seeing a 3-pin vertical, you can swap it out and make a 5-pin horizontal. They also offer the single pin, which is like a Mag XR extended range version. It's going to have your single pin with a bonus pin down below. 3-pin horizontal, 5-pin horizontal, easy to switch cartridges. Again, customization is there. You can swap out the wheels, the light covers, or the fiber covers I should say. You can pull those off, add a light kit if you need a light, different colors and all that. But what's super unique with Dialed is their ergonomical shape here. They have this angled dial rover bar, whatever you want to call it, to get the most out of it in order to get your most range. Also, another thing that's unique to them is their bubble is on top. Let me see if I can get that. You see this bubble here. So a couple things with that bubble being on top. One, with it being on top and not below, you're gonna get a little bit more yardage out of that bottom. You can kind of get a little bit more clearance out of it, if that makes sense there. It's not blocking your bottom pin running into that. So that top bubble gets you a little bit more clearance, a little bit more visual picture with that bottom pin, but also guys tend to have issues dropping that lead arm if their bubble's below or on bottom. So if you're holding out and that bubble's down below and you're kind of looking down checking that bubble, you'll tend to actually drop that front arm. So with this bubble on top, the theory behind it is that arm kind of stays up and stays level, avoiding that low dip and low drop. So it's something that I've played with. I will say with shooting that bottom pin, it's something a little bit to get used to as far as kind of making sure that bubble is level. But using the top and middle pin, I shot this at TAC. I didn't notice any issues. I wasn't looking back at my bubble or having to look up, trying to find it. So it wasn't a real big issue there. As far as the technical side of things go on the improvements they made it really light. Obviously you can swap cartridges, but the axis adjustment is probably by far the best adjustment they've made. You have a micro adjust on your first axis here. You have a micro adjust on your second axis here, so you can get those axes lined up perfectly, as well as your third axis inside here. I can adjust that and make it super clean. With their sights running at $560 to $600. Pretty good price point. Again, it's higher than normal, but it's not as high as the Mathews that we just went over. So good price point, super crisp and easy to rover bar with a lockdown where I can adjust the tension as well. I got 2 sight tape rings that I can adjust. I got indicator needles that I can adjust and set on both inside and outside. This gives you multiple tape options, multiple setup options. So as far as everything being versatile and easy to use, it's all in this sight. Customer service, I've known Scott and those guys there for a while now. They are great. They take care of customers. If anything goes wrong that we haven't seen a whole lot this year. I mean, the only issue I've ran into, which I don't even know if it was entirely the sight's fault, was on the Hoyt carbon bows with the pick rail mount on the dial. We didn't have enough windage to get the customer sighted in, but looking back, a lot of it was form. So we worked with that as well and seemed to have enough clearance after that. So can't say it's the sight, could be mixture of both. I don't know, maybe just a little bit more windage adjustment would be good, but I mean, really haven't seen any issues with them. So good company that'll take care of you if you do have an issue, that I know for sure. And it's been a well-built sight. So all manufactured here in the US, a really good sight for the price point as far as the versatility, as far as lightweight, as far as whatever hunting you want to do. It's a good sight option starting at $560 like I mentioned. Good axis adjustment, good customization, and all that good stuff. So the Dialed Proof, 110 times better than their first go at it with the Arxos. Now they have well-built sights, well-ran systems here as far as axis adjustments and everything we just went over. So really big fan of the Proof this year. Next up is the HHA. This is the Nitrix Pro. Always been a fan of HHA stuff. I've ran them on the last few of my seasons, the last few hunts, just because it's a product that I've trusted throughout the years. Good, durable, well-built products. They're very easy to set up, very easy to work with. I can change scopes and housings. I can do all that. We'll dive into all the technical stuff in a minute, but Price point, I want to say, is around 500 bucks, depending on different sites you can go with. They only have 4 cartridge options as far as your true single pin, your 2-pin vertical. This is their 3-pin horizontal that they had on the X3 last year. And then they also have a 4-pin horizontal. So downside, no 3-pin vertical yet, no 5 pins yet. So something to keep in mind. But with the new Nitrix Pro, they did something different for all Excel sites, or excuse me, with the Nitrix Pro, they did something with all HHA sites. They added a first axis adjustment right here on the dovetail bar. So I can adjust that first axis finally. Second axis is still right here by the scope where it goes onto the rail. I can adjust that. And then third axis is right in here. So you got easy, clean axis adjustments. I can also, as mentioned just a little bit ago, I can take this scope off. If I have another scope, I can slide it back up on my rail and easily change out the scopes, if that makes sense. Great pins. HHA has always had great pins. I can adjust the lighting. I can cover those pins up. I can give them a little bit more light if I need to. Also has room to add the light kit, and I can throw that on the fiber if needed. So super easy, super smooth wheel. HHA has always had a smooth wheel, always had good tapes, good ergonomics as far as a Rover sight should go. Downside with the Nitrix Pro, it's a little heavier than most sights this year. It's good for mountains. It's good, you know, I'd say it's probably lighter than the Spot Hogg Fast Eddie XL, but I'd have to wait and see. I don't have the scale. But it is noticeably heavier than, you know, say the Matthews or say the Dial, but it is well built for the mountains. Of course, you got your universal mount option, your bridge lock mount option, your side mount, your pick rail mount. It's going to work on all bows. Another thing, it's not necessarily a toolless adjustment. You got to have some Allen wrenches if I'm going to loosen this and make my micro adjust. I have to have Allen wrenches to slide up my zero, but once I get that locked in, I'm not really moving that anymore. It's been basically using my tape once I get my pins and everything set. 20-60 yard sight in, they give you a lot of tapes. The tapes are pretty spot on. If they weren't, I wouldn't have hunted with them the last 3 years, so their tapes are something I trust. Sure, there's Precision Cut. There's a lot of tape manufacturers out there that can make some good tapes, but price point around $500 with this sight picture. This is the Pro version as well. Gonna have the strong indicators here for my yardage wheel. I can take this yardage wheel off and get another one. So if I'm swapping tapes, I can pull those wheels on and off and make it super clean, super easy to have different setups. So only possible downside, it's noticeably heavier than all the other ones, but price point's a little bit cheaper. So that's something to keep in mind. As far as customizations, they do Cerakote jobs to match your bow risers, depending on your bow color and stuff like that, different wheel colors and all that good stuff. But a good, well-made sight, one you can count on as far as durability goes. Also, one more thing on the HHAs. If you wanted to run a different scope, if you want to run a UV scope or a Dark Owl archery scope, you can get the mount for these. Obviously, HHA makes good scopes, but if you like a 3-pin vertical, you know, HHA doesn't offer that yet, so you might want to run a different scope with them. You can do that with their micro adjust mount. So like, for example, I was running this Dark Owl 3-pin vertical scope here. Probably some of the best pins and best scope I've seen. Matches up. He makes them, Cody makes them with your sight tape based on HHA, makes them with different sight configurations as well. Has your fiber cover to where I can adjust that, change my lighting a little bit up there, but he gets those pins spaced out exactly how you want them based off your sight tape. 20, 30, 40 for me personally when I'm using my HHA sight, which is tape 45 for my setup. That I know those pins are perfectly spaced out. So it does give you the option on the Nitrix or on any HHA sight to add a secondary scope or a different scope manufacturer and throw that on there. So something to keep in mind. All right, well, last but not least is the Excel driver. As you can tell, I don't have it here. We've been waiting for them for quite a bit now, almost 6 months. We have some customers really wanting them who have pre-ordered some, and we're just still having to continue to wait. But it kind of is what it is. I know demand's high. It's a great sight. I was fortunate enough to hold it at SHOT Show. I love the new driver wheel, the micro adjust, their indicators, their pins have always been good on Excel sights, but it is, I'll be honest, it's frustrating not being able to get a product in. We're trying to take care of the customers. A little frustrating that we can't get that sight in. I get it, demand's high. It's a great product. I've held it. I haven't got to run it on a bow, obviously, and that's kind of like where I'd like to do my testing, is take it out back, shoot it outside, put it through the ringer, do a full review so you guys can see it. But until we get them in, I mean, obviously can't show you anything on it. Good sight though. I am a fan of it. It's definitely going to be a contender for best sight of 2025 in my opinion, but want to put it on a bow, want to shoot it, want to work with it a little bit and kind of see how it is. So, and I'm not, by any means, I'm not bashing Excel. I get it. It's a high demand sight. It's a great sight from what I held. I really want to run one on a bow. We really want to take care of the customers, you guys. That's why we do it. And it's frustrating when we can't take care of you guys because a manufacturer is delaying that. Again, high demand sight. Totally understand you kind of got to wait on stuff like that. Anytime you have a new product, there's going to be some longer lead times and demand's going to be high and all those things. I'm anxious to get one though. I'm ready to get my hands on it and put it on a bow and shoot it and really do a full review for you guys and test them out. And the guys who have pre-ordered, I know you're ready to get one in too. So all these sites are great companies. All of them make great products and things like that. So as far as best sight for 2025, minus the driver, since it's not here, that's going to be at the bottom of the list until it comes in. So that one's not even in contention until I play with it and do a review, and then we'll go back and do a whole new comparison later. But out of the three that I have here, the HHA Nitrix Pro, the Dial Proof, and the Mathews, hard to say. They're all very good, and I think it's dependent on your mission. I've always had more faith in the HHA when I'm going hunting, but the weight of it this year is kind of making my bow needing more weight as far as to counterbalance that. I've never ran a back bar on my longer axle to axle bows. I haven't needed it. With this sight, I do need one just because there's a lot of weight up there. So I try to run a back bar to kind of counterbalance that, which makes my overall setup heavy. Not the end of the world. I mean, suck it up, carry it, but at the same time, if I can get away with a lighter sight, then why not try something new kind of deal. So HHA is still a good sight. I'm not rolling it out. Hunting season's 4 months away, so still a lot of time, and knowing me, I will switch last second. The Mathews and the Dialed both are top contenders for me as well. Super lightweight, super easy to rover, all that good stuff. The one thing I will say with the Dialed is that bubble on top is something I'm getting used to and still having to get used to it. I shot it at TAC and I liked it. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I might try out a few different pin cartridges and things like that. The Mathews UV slider, big changes. Love the pins now. Didn't like them on the OG version. Glad there's a 0 stop. So right now, if I had to hunt tomorrow, it would be between the Dialed and the Mathews, and I would just have to decide on which one I wanted to look at for the hunt, whether it was a horizontal pin or a fixed pin with a light, all that good stuff. Great sights. I mean, everyone's making good stuff, and that's what makes it difficult. I feel like I can't choose the best sight of the year yet because I don't have the driver in stock. I don't have the time put in with each one of these sights to test them out and see how they do and all that stuff. Plus, I like to bang one up a little bit, take it hunting. I know that HHA will survive that. I'm 95% sure the Dialed will, and I'm 90% sure the Mathews will. So knowing me, I mean, this company, this sight always finds a way back on my bow come hunting season. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like I kind of know what I want to shoot. I might just try to give a new company a chance this year and maybe run the Dialed or maybe run the Mathews if I'm shooting a Mathews bow this year. I don't even know what bow I'm shooting yet. So there's still a lot to go into it, but part of my job and stuff is I like to hear back from you guys. I like to know why you like a certain sight, why you don't like this sight, and then I can take it into account and kind of view it from a different standpoint, and that just helps me get an overall grasp on the product better. So if y'all have some other options or opinions or something you think, let us know. I'm open to try anything. I am an avid tinker. I change my setup more than anybody in the shop, and I just like to experiment. I know what I can fall back on and run and be successful with that, but with this job, one of the perks is to try out a lot of different products and shoot a lot of different things and just get some overall knowledge and experiment. That's kind of fun, seeing what works the best and to tinker. A lot of good sights this year. If I'm going to go lighter just for lightweightness, I'm probably going to run a Dialed. That's probably going to be my sight for 2025. If I don't care about weight, then that HHA is going to find its way back on my bow for now, unless I hear a different opinion from you guys, or the driver comes in and just rocks my world kind of deal. So let me know what sight y'all think is the best for 2025, and it could change our outlook on it, but it's still a toss-up, to be honest. There's too many good sights out there, and these three that I've explored today, I think they're the best of the best for sure. So let us know what y'all think. Appreciate y'all support and watching, and we're open to y'all's thoughts and opinions and everything else. So just let us know kind of what you think, and be on the lookout. Hopefully soon we can get the Excel driver in and we can do a full review on that. So we appreciate it. If y'all need anything, don't hesitate to call. We're happy to help. Thanks.